everyone. So, if you're a dependent student or if you've just opted to put in your parents' information, the first thing that you're going to need to put in is your parents' demographic information. Demographic is essentially a fancy word for you're telling information about your parents. So, their name, where they live, who they are, how much schooling they've received, just a little information so that FAFSA knows some more about your family. This is just going to help as you move forward throughout the FAFSA and just provide a better picture of the family and what they're able to do when it comes to paying for their child's education. So buckle up and let's go.
Hello, everyone. We are back and continuing with our parent demographics. So demographics is a big fancy word for tell me about your mom and dad, or one parent, or whoever you are now discussing. So in the last video, we identified that Helen, last name, myself, is a dependent student. So I'm going to provide information about my parents. So what is the marital status of my parents? Here you're just going to say, were they never married, unmarried, and living together, remarried, did they get divorced and then got back together? Are they divorced or separated or widowed? So I am going to say that my parents were married. And what is the 2-digit month and 4-digit year that they were married? I will say March of 1995. And then let's click next. So let's enter information for my first parent. So who is going to be your first parent? This is someone that you will identify, and it will remain the same as you go throughout the FAFSA. It's totally up to you. For me, I'm just going to say my first parent is father, and my second parent will be mother. So I'm going to enter information for the first parent. So my dad's social security number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My parents' last name, I will go with last name. First initial is going to be A. And the date of birth is going to be, let's say, February the 8th. And it is going to be in 1950. And my father's email address is going to be father@email.com. And it is going to be, again, father@email.com. Let's click next. And now for the other parent. So this is going to be parent 2, and I'm going to make this my mother. Her social security number is going to be 987654321. My mother's last name will be last name. Her first initial will be B, and I will make her date of birth September 8th, 1956. Let's click next. Have my parents lived in Maryland for at least 5 years? Very similar to what the FAFSA just asked you before. For the sake of simplicity, I'll say yes. Now we're going to get into household size. So we have parents as 2, myself, even if I do not live with my parents. And now it is going to ask about other people. So are there other children, even if they do not live with my parents, who my parents will provide more than half their support for? And these children can answer no to every dependency status on the FAFSA, meaning that they are dependent students once we did the dependency section. So this is going to be if I have step-siblings who are going to be not with me at the time, or if there's someone else that I need to include that are dependents of my parents. So I'm going to say, for the sake of simplicity, no, that I am the only child. And now I'm going to say other people if they now live with my parents and my parents provide more than half of their support. This is going to be something where if you have a grandparent that's living with you and your parents are supporting them, or if there's another individual. And we can say 1 if we want to. And notice how this number at the bottom changed. This is not something that we can go in and change ourselves because it's adding up those other numbers to better understand how many people are being supported by your parents. That's going to determine how much they're able to give you to count towards school. So how many people in your parents' household, as reported above, will be college students? The more college students, the less they can spend on just one student because they'll have multiple. So we are just going to say 1 for the sake of simplicity. So now that we've answered these questions, we click next. And that's it. We did parent demographics. This way, FAFSA now has a whole view of who your parents are, what they are supporting, and how much money they're going to have to take towards college. Stay tuned for parents' financials. Everyone's scared of this section, but don't worry, it's nothing to be afraid of. As always, thanks so much for watching and good luck, South Carolina.